in today's edition of Talks, I'm here with Bob Milton. Bob is a former commander of Scotland Yard, and we are lucky to have him at the American Women's College as the lead faculty member for the Counterterrorism and Homeland Security major. So Bob, I welcome you. And if you could you tell us a little bit about the program?
Well, first of all, I think I'm the lucky one for being able to work at the American Women's College, Bay Path University. It's a fantastic opportunity for me. Now, let me tell you a bit about the program. I was asked to have a look at the Counterterrorism Homeland Security major. And when I looked at it, I realized that it was a good courses, but they were very much focused on the reaction to counterterrorism. So what I've done is I've introduced some other courses and changed the introduction to counterterrorism and terrorism course to make it more broad in its outlook. So what you're going to get is this. The introduction course is really going to get you a deeper understanding of what we mean by terrorism. There's going to be a lot of discussion. I'm going to make you think. And at the end of it, you will really understand what is terrorism, what are the underlying causes of terrorism, and most importantly, how can we measure the threat of terrorism. You then have a number of other courses that you can choose. One of them is the path to radicalization. Now, this is all about trying to understand why people become extremists. Why do people resort to violence for a cause? And how can we intercept that? How can we stop that happening? And this course will appeal to criminal justice degree students, but it may also appeal to people from psychology, because it is actually about human behavior. Then we've got another course that focuses on the role of the media and the internet, because we're seeing increasingly now the internet playing a role in glorifying terrorism, recruiting, publicizing, communicating. That is something that we need to address. And also the relationship with the media is a very interesting one. It's a symbiotic relationship. The media need terrorism, the terrorists need the media. That is something else we need to look at. There's going to be an intelligence course specifically aimed at counterterrorism, because intelligence is the foundation of everything we do. With good intelligence, we can have a better response. And finally, you will have a course, a capstone course, that is going to bring all this together into a national counterterrorism strategy. And at the end of that course, you will be able to write that strategy. And that's going to really help you in your careers. When you go off into your new organization, you can start challenging and looking at the strategies of those organizations and make some very valuable and important changes. That's what we want to achieve.
Thank you, Bob. I do appreciate that. So you did speak about career and students in the criminal justice major. What kind of students do you feel, or careers, are geared to this type of program?
Well, let's start with the careers. It's so wide. It's anything to do with criminal justice, and that can be on the applied side or the theoretical side. So on the applied side, it could be law enforcement, it could be border control, prisons, corrections, probation officers, social officers, transport authority. It's so wide. There are so many different opportunities for you with a criminal justice career. On the theoretical side, we need more thought about what's causing crime and what's causing terrorism. What are the underlying causes of terrorism? What's driving people to become extremists? A lot more research needs to be done in that, and that's something you could well get into. And using that research to try and prevent further people from becoming extreme. As far as the student is concerned, anybody who wants to take up a career in criminal justice can come along. And in fact, we would encourage people from different backgrounds, different educations. Please come along and have a look at the career, because that is exactly what criminal justice needs. It needs a very diverse workforce, and we would ask that anybody who has an interest in criminal justice have a look at our programs, and we will welcome you with open arms.
I thank you. That's great. So I guess I have just another question on misconceptions. Do you believe that there's any misconceptions people may have, both the student, prospective student, or family members in relation to this specific degree program?
I think there are a number of misconceptions, and the first one I think is the effort it's going to take for you to go through the program. Yes, it's going to be challenging, but the great thing is that it's going to be flexible. You know, you haven't got to turn up at a classroom every day. We know you have other things to do. You have families and jobs to support. The flexibility is very important, but don't mistake that flexibility for this being easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard work, but we will work with you rather than against you. And if you need to get an assignment in and you're working at 12 o'clock at night, we will recognize that and we will give you more time. As far as you know, the misconceptions as far as the careers are concerned, many people think criminal justice is simply at the hard edge, the sharp edge, you know, law enforcement, carrying guns, SWAT teams, etc. That couldn't be further from the truth. Criminal justice is a much broader thing. Let's think of the phrase criminal justice. It's about getting justice for victims. It's about making sure that criminal investigations are professional and well managed. It's about making sure the court system convicts the right people. It's about making sure that when people go to prison, you know, they don't become more and more violent. They don't become more and more criminalized. And when they're probation officers, that we support them. It's a much wider thing than people realize. And that's why we need more women in criminal justice, because working alongside their male counterparts, they can offer new solutions, you know, different solutions, and ensure that we prevent crime rather than just simply chase criminals around and try and lock them up.
I think that's great. So I guess I would just ask one final question, which is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with our women who are thinking about joining this particular counterterrorism and homeland security major?
I will say one thing to you, and that is, have a look at our programs. You have the capability of achieving a very good degree, a very good education at the American Women's College. You can use that to form a very good career afterwards. You may be worried about it. You may be thinking, I haven't studied for a long, long time. But we are there to support you. And I found that coming into the American Women's College new, I have found that there's a tremendous support framework out there. We know how difficult it can be in those first few courses, and we will work with you. So don't be afraid to come back to education. We want you to come along. We will support you, and I can guarantee at the end of it, you will not only have a great education, a great degree program, and hopefully you would have majored in counterterrorism with one of my courses. You will have a fantastic opportunity of a good career in the future that can support you, your family, and be of significance to the community.
Bob, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate it so much. I am sure that our women will be very happy to have you as an instructor. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.